Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Morgan, aka I Hate Morgz. So today I will be discussing my surgery journey. I recently went and got 360 lipo with the BBL, and it was the craziest experience that I've ever had. I'll be talking about everything from the price to the actual pain levels to the recovery. I'm going to discuss everything you need to know about a BBL, and I'm also going to reveal my doctor. Stay tuned. So now it's time for me to kind of explain to you guys exactly what 360 lipo and exactly what BBL or Brazilian butt lift is. That's the procedure I got done. So I just want to kind of explain it in my terms and not the doctor's terms, not Google's terms, or whoever else's terms. I just want you guys to know what it is in my eyes. So 360 lipo is lipo of your abdomen, your stomach, your love handles, your waist, your back, your arms, your thighs, like pretty much anywhere that they can take fat from. That's what 360 lipo is. And with the BBL, you get the 360 lipo, and then you get the BBL, and the BBL is a Brazilian butt lift, obviously, but it's where they reinsert the fat that they took out from the lipo with the cannula, which is the tool that they use to suck the fat out. They reinsert it with a syringe or something of that sort into your butt and your hips and anywhere else that you may want that. But me, I didn't get lipo of my arms or any of that. I just let them do my abdomen, my love handles, and my back. And that they actually took 4,000 cc's out, and they put 2,000 in each cheek. So I don't know what cc's equates to. What is that? It's not gallons. It's something, whatever. We'll figure that out later. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to kind of discuss the things that I did not know about surgery, that I thought I knew or that no one told me. It's kind of like I thought I had all this planned out, but there was a whole nother agenda that I didn't even know about. So I kind of want, I do want you guys to be super prepared. And I don't know if other girls have discussed this in their videos or if people have told you guys what to expect all the way through, but I'm giving y'all the raw, the real, and the uncut completely. So the main thing that I want people to know that's going to get surgery, especially this lipo and BBL situation, I want people to know that they tell you a set amount of money to bring for your surgery, but you also have to have money for after your surgery. If you cannot pay for your surgery 3 times, I would not suggest getting it. Meaning, if your surgery is $5,000 and you don't have about $15,000 saved, you don't need to get surgery, period. So, you're going to need money for medications. Like if your insurance doesn't cover the medications that, the doctor prescribes you for after your surgery, thank God mine did. But you're going to need money for medications. You're going to need money for all of the aftercare products and maybe like the over-the-counter medications you're going to have to buy. You're going to need money for your recovery house. You're definitely going to need money for your massages. Like, not going to lie to you, I made sure before I left Atlanta that I had all of those grounds covered, especially massages. Massages are your most important part of surgery. It helps shape your body. It helps drain you. You need it. You also have to purchase 2 fajas, a stage 1 and a stage 2, and a faja is like the garment that's used to shape your body. You have to purchase those. You have to purchase the booty pillow, and whatever else your doctor, suggests that you have. And a lot of times those things are not included in your package. So You have to pay for that. The recovery house is mandatory. I don't suggest anyone going into a different state, country, or any of that not staying at a recovery house. At first, I thought that, okay, I could just fly my mom out here. She can just help me. She can just take care of me, wipe my butt if needed. No, that's not how it works. You need a recovery house because you need a nurse on hand at all times. Anything could happen. Like the fact that I passed out multiple times at the recovery house. If I was at home or at a hotel with my mom, she wouldn't have known what to do to wake me back up, you know? So you're definitely going to need a recovery house. I don't care what anyone says. I think a recovery house is mandatory. Not to mention, it saves you more money because they feed you, they bathe you, they wash your clothes, they do everything that you would need someone to do. But the difference is they're licensed and they know what they're doing. Another thing people did not tell me is that I was going to have to wear my faja 24/7. My doctor told me I needed to wear my faja 24/7 nonstop. I need to sleep in it, wake up in it, wear it under my clothes. It's your faja and your ad board and your foams, which is very irritating because it makes you look really bulky, but you have to wear it all the time. You cannot not wear it. It compresses you, and compression is it's one of the most important things with surgery. Compressing you helps the swelling go down. And the more you wear your faja, the more swelling goes down, and it works in your favor. So I really didn't know that I was going to have to keep my faja on 24/7. My doctor wanted me to keep it on for like 6 months, so I still wear it most days. Like I wear it all day if I can. If I'm in the house, it's going to be on me all day. When I go to sleep, I don't care where I'm sleeping at, that faja is going to be on. The only time I don't really wear it is if I'm out, like, clubbing or something of that sort, because it's not really flattering under your clothes. So I can see how people get irritated by wearing it. But yeah, I didn't know you had to wear your faja. I didn't know that I would need all of that money saved up. And that was like the biggest thing for me. I did not know that I was going to need all of that money saved up at all. But I'm glad I had it saved up, because if I didn't, I'd be in some deep shit right now. So, yeah. Another thing, I did not know that this pain was going to last for this long. I'm about 14 weeks post-op. I got surgery on Halloween of last year, of 2019. It is now January 20th. So I'm about almost 3 months, but, 3 full months, but I'm still in pain. My back and my abdomen area hurts really bad. It feels like it's a rubber band stretching, like it feels crazy. And I thought that the pain would just last about 6 to 8. I thought that the pain would last about 6 to 8 weeks, and that would be the end of it. Boy, was I wrong. I'm still in pain. Another thing I did not know was I didn't know that I was going to have to sleep on my stomach for a long period of time. I knew I couldn't really sit on my butt. But as far as sleeping on my stomach, I didn't know I was going to have to do that. And that was really painful for me because I'm not a tummy sleeper. I sleep on my sides. So, yeah. Okay, guys. So now I'm going to use my phone to answer some of the questions that my Instagram followers have asked me in regards to my surgery. I was getting a lot of repetitive questions. The main questions I kept seeing over these last couple months is, who's my doctor? How much did I pay? What facility did I go to? What recovery house did I stay at? And how is the pain? So I will be discussing the price and the doctor and the facility at the end of this video. Just stay tuned. Okay. The first question I have is it worth it? I absolutely think that this is worth it. My surgery was completely worth it. It boosted my confidence. My body obviously looks better, but I feel better about myself. I feel like it was completely worth it. But I would not do it again. I wouldn't. Someone said, how was iMermaid's recovery house? When I tell y'all, I kind of talked about this already, but when I tell y'all, iMermaid's was amazing. Like, I have literally no complaints. From the cleanliness of the house, to the staff, to the actual other girls that were staying there, to the food, to the car rides. Everything was amazing with iMermaids. Someone else. Okay, the next question is, how long did I feel pain? Well, again, my surgery was in October. It's now January, and I'm still in pain. The pain is just not as bad right now. But those first 6 to 8 weeks, the pain is pretty bad. I was uncomfortable the entire time. My back was hurting. My stomach was hurting. It was just like super tight. And basically what that is the skin reattaching itself to the muscle. I was itchy a lot in my faja. Like, it itches really bad. So it was just irritating. But the pain lasts for about 3 to 4 months. So I've heard. The next question is, was I nervous of the outcome? Too big or not big enough? I was super nervous for the outcome because at the recovery house, my body, like, of course it looked amazing. Everyone was complimenting me, but the one thing they kept saying was, your butt is super big. In the pictures that my mom took, my butt was huge. And of course it was swollen, and you lose about 30% of your fat as you heal and transition to the next phase of, recovery. But I was so nervous. I'm like, oh my God, my butt is going to be way too big. Thank God it went down. My body looks super natural. It doesn't look like it's overdone. It doesn't look botched. It doesn't look, my butt isn't super big. My hips aren't super wide. I love it. I'm actually super satisfied with my results. Someone said, what was my weight pre and post surgery? How much weight did I gain? And how many cc's did I transfer? So my weight, I was told to gain about 5 to 10 more pounds. So when I went into surgery, I was told to gain that much weight, first of all, because all fat is not good fat. And if it's not good fat, they can't transfer it. So I tried to gain as much as I could. So when I went into surgery, I think I was about 155 or 157 or something. And coming out of surgery, I just weighed myself the other day. I'm like 147 or 8 or something like that. I don't really weigh myself often anymore because I'm super satisfied with my weight, so I don't even look at the scale. But yeah, I tried to gain about 5 to 10 pounds, and it didn't really work. I don't know. I don't remember what I started at. Hey guys, okay, so the objective of this actual video is to just kind of give people an insight of what to expect if they're possibly trying to go get surgery. I want to tell you guys everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. I want to tell you guys what took place in the actual surgery room, at my pre-op appointments, my post-op appointments. I want to let you guys know about recovery. I want to tell you guys about the cost and what to expect. And I want to kind of give a good review on my doctor. All right, so to begin, I'm just going to kind of give you guys the background on how I got interested in surgery and how I kind of convinced myself to finally go get it and everything of that sort. I had been talking about surgery probably for about the last 3 years because I had gained a tremendous amount of weight. I went probably from like 125 to 130 pounds to about 145 within the last 3 years. So that's like a 10, 15 pound weight gain. And as I was gaining the weight, I was like, okay, this is crazy. I was trying to work out. I didn't really try as hard as I could have, but I tried to work out. It didn't work. I tried dieting. That didn't work because I like to eat. I pretty much tried everything before surgery. And I eventually just started doing my research. I had a lot of friends that have actually already went to get surgery. And when they got their surgery, I asked 1,000,001 questions. And some of the questions I asked, they had correct answers to, and then some of the questions I asked, they didn't have the answers to. So that's when I took it upon myself to go do my own research. When I started researching, the first place I started researching was actually Colombia, Cali, Colombia. And in Colombia, I looked at a couple different doctors, won't disclose their names. It's not really, here nor there why I didn't go with them, but I looked at a couple of doctors. I went to the doctors that I know that my friends went to. I went to the doctors that I heard that other, Instagram Instagram girls went to. I went to doctors that I just heard about, from word of mouth and through Instagram, obviously. And I went on their pages. I scheduled consultations. I emailed pictures. I just kind of compared and contrasted like everyone else's results. I also went on Google and went to a whole bunch of different reviews for these particular doctors in Colombia. Some of the reviews were terrible. Some of the reviews were great. So I think that the really bad reviews scared me completely away from Colombia. Then, after I researched Colombia, I researched Dominican Republic. It's so crazy because as I was researching surgery in the DR, someone had died out there. And that completely deterred me from going to the DR. Like, no matter what doctor I looked at, I was just like, no, absolutely not. Come to find out, in the midst of all of my research, pretty much every doctor, I don't want to say every doctor, but most doctors have had deaths within their facilities, within, their network, I guess you could say. Like, it's kind of common, but a lot of the deaths do not fall back on the actual doctor. It kind of falls back on the patients because sometimes the patients aren't honest about their medical history or their medications they may be on or something of that sort, Cool. Okay, so I did my research for DR and I did my research for Colombia. Decided not to go with either one of those. That was probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago. So I think in like June or July of 2019, I was in the middle of the club. I was actually in the middle of the strip club, and I was just like, okay, this is boring. I was bored as hell in the strip club, and I was on my phone scrolling. And as I was scrolling, the doctor that I chose popped up on my Explore page. And I had seen his facility. I had seen his business partner's work. Loved his work completely. Like, loved the business partner's work. But I think that his price might have been too high, which is probably why I ended up with my doctor. So, I'm scrolling, and I'm just like, I'm telling my best friend, because she's sitting next to me at the time. I'm like, oh my God, I think I found the doctor. And she's actually had surgery, and she's been to a few different doctors. So she's more experienced than I am. So I'm explaining to her, like, I think I found my doctor. I show her the page. She's like, yeah, he's the one. He's going to do everything you want him to do. He's going to do it perfect. That's the best way to go. Okay, cool. So once I got her blessing, I actually ended up asking my mom and my aunt, who was also, both of them had surgery before too. So I asked my mom. My mom's like, yeah, he looks like a great doctor. Cool, let's just, do more research. My aunt's like, he looks like a great doctor. He looks like he knows what he's doing. There's minimal scarring, like, on all of his patients. He might be, the better option. Great. So once I kind of got everyone around me, and once I got their blessings, and once they kind of told me, like, okay, yeah, that's the doctor you need to go to, I contacted his facility. I sent an email. It's so crazy, actually. Rewind. I had already sent pictures in for a consultation with another doctor at his facility, and they had already had all my stuff on file for like maybe the last 12 months. So I actually did another consultation because I gained a little more weight. I did another consultation. I sent it over to their email. They contacted me back, and they contacted me back with the quote. Now, at the time, it was the last day of their BBL, LIPO and BBL special. So I think their special was about $4,500, maybe $5,000. And the quote they gave me was a little bit more, but I will talk about that later on in the video. So I, was contacting their facility back and forth, dealing with their surgical coordinators, that type of stuff, sending off blood work, just so I could get approved for the surgery. And when I was ready to pay my deposit, they informed me that the only dates that they had left was Halloween. So most people would have got scared because of superstitions and I guess just different beliefs and the fact that Halloween is such a creepy holiday. Most people probably would have got scared, but that was like the only day they had left for the rest of the year. And at the time, this was probably about the end of July, beginning of August. And I felt like, okay, I have my deposit ready. I'm ready to send it. So if this is the only date they have left for the remainder of the year, I'm going to go ahead and take it. So I sent over the money for the deposit. And after I sent over the money, they sent me back like it was like a flood of emails, just of everything of what to expect, medications to take and not take. And they basically sent me emails preparing me for surgery. And I had to fill out a little bit more paperwork. And yeah, so, okay. So now we're going to get into what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do before your surgery. 60 days. So we're like on a 60-day countdown right now. So the main thing that they were, telling me in these long emails that they were sending that they don't want me to do is can't smoke marijuana if you smoke marijuana. I don't. Can't do any hard drugs, which I already don't do. No alcohol. That was the biggest challenge for me. And no hookah, no cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes. But the hookah and the alcohol part was the hardest part for 60 days. And in the email, they also include how you cannot take Excedrin, Alka-Seltzer, Goodies powder, aspirin, naproxen, Advil, Aleve, Motrin, Midol, ibuprofen, or anything of that such. They're very, very, very firm on that. They're very strict on that. I think it has something to do with the anesthesia. Not quite sure. And within these 60 days, you have to send over your blood work. You have to send over urine samples. You have to send over all types of stuff. You have to get clearances from your actual primary care physician. You have to do a whole lot of stuff. And the blood work was like super annoying for me because I got my blood drawn like a million times for this. Mind you, my primary care is who took my blood and did all of my labs. And he kept continuously sending the blood work over, and they kept losing my blood work, which was kind of annoying. It was really annoying, actually, because in the end, I ended up having to go to LabCorp and just get it all done again. And they actually sent it directly to my facility. So that was, like annoying, like super annoying. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke marijuana, but they're really, really strict on the nicotine and the tobacco and all of that. That really, really, really affects the anesthesia. So that's something you don't want to do. Another thing, during those 60 days, especially the week leading up to surgery, they want you to drink about 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. And I know that's super, super hard for some people. Like, some people can't do it. I only drink water, so it was easy for me. I kept myself hydrated the entire 60 days that I was kind of fasting before my surgery. What else? Medications. They have like a list of maybe 100 medications that they want you to avoid prior to surgery as well. And these are medications like not over the counter, but prescriptions that they want you to avoid, as well as, over the counter. You also can't take many vitamins. If your iron is low, they give you different supplements to take. That's, cool it's approved for the pre-op. No diet pills, no nicotine products at all. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for as far as what you can't do before surgery. Okay, so now I'm going to explain my story the week leading up to surgery. Okay, so I arrived in Miami a week before my surgery. Probably like a week and a half, actually, because I had other obligations in Miami. So I arrived about a week and a half before my surgery, and when I got there, I just was super, super nervous. And I'll be honest with you guys, because we're like family, so I can tell you guys that. Well, I can tell you guys this, but I did ended up having a drink before my surgery. But I drank liquor, and I contacted my doctor right after I did it, and they were just like, okay, completely flush your system, drink more water, get it completely out your system. Cool. So while I was in Miami, it was really, really expensive. Miami's not a cheap place to visit, whether you're visiting for surgery or leisure or whatever. Even if you live there, it's not cheap at all. So I was there. I spent a whole lot of money those days leading up to my surgery. So within those days, I booked my recovery house, which was iMermaid's recovery house. And I will say that was the best recovery house. And they are actually voted the #1 recovery house in South Florida. So, yeah, they were amazing. I booked my recovery house, which was about $180 a night. I ended up staying there for 7 nights. So, I'll let you guys do the math on that. I booked my recovery house. I bought, like, you know, they give you a list of things that you need to buy before your surgery that you need to have in the recovery house. So I bought, like, aloe, like I bought an aloe plant because I was really scared about my scarring. I bought a lot of vitamin E oil. I bought Arnica Care tablets, Arnica Care gel, which helps with the bruising. I bought Mederma. I really went crazy. I really went and bought a whole lot of stuff that I did not need to buy, but whatever. I bought a bunch of stuff. I bought like nightgowns, tank tops to wear under my faja. I bought a whole bunch of stuff because I thought that's what you needed. I also packed a really large suitcase, which was very, very stupid because in the end, I ended up only wearing my faja right after surgery. Every day, that's all I wore. So, my mom flies in town 2 days before my surgery. She flew in town. She stressed me out a whole lot, but it was needed. I needed the pep talks. I needed the arguments. I needed all of that. She basically, my mom came in town, and when she came in town, she gave me the good, the bad, and the ugly of what she went through for her surgery. So, which she had about 10 years ago. So, I mean, she wanted me to know what I was getting myself into. She was very, very, very firm on everything that she was telling me. And, yeah, that was pretty much it as far as everything I did prior to the surgery. So then, I think Halloween was on a Thursday. So my pre-op was on a Wednesday. So we wake up really early in the morning. My pre-op appointment was at like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. We wake up at like 7. I drank a whole bunch of water, so I was peeing the entire night, which made me super nervous. I was super nervous for my pre-op appointment, excuse me. And I drank a whole lot of water the night before. And then after, the next morning, I drank a whole lot of water on the way to the appointment because I was told that they had to do urine samples and they might have to take more blood just because they have to drug test you and everything, you know, prior to your surgery. So we get to the pre-op appointment. My mom is freaking out because they're taking too long to call me to the back. And at the pre-op appointment, basically, they take your measurements. They measure you for your faja, which is your garment that you have to wear after surgery. They take your payment. They kind of talk to you about surgery. But my mom freaked out the most because she did not get to meet my doctor at my pre-op. Now, when I got my breast augmentation in 2012, we were able to meet my doctor, talk to him, ask him a million questions. And it was very, very, very kind of like an intimate thing. He made me very comfortable. My mom was super uncomfortable because she's like, okay, we want to meet the doctor. We want to talk to the doctor. We want the doctor to mark her off. We want him to tell us, you know, what to expect, what not to expect, and stuff like that. And they didn't offer that type of comfort at this particular facility. So she was really upset about that. I just was like, whatever. I know my doctor does 1 million surgeries a day. He probably doesn't have time to sit down with every patient to talk to them. So they measured me for the garment. They actually ended up giving me the wrong size in the end, which was crazy, but you know, it worked out. They measured me for the garment. They took pictures. They took like basically my before pictures. They did not do the drug test that day though. And when they didn't do the drug test, it kind of like irritated me because I had been drinking water that entire morning. So I peed that entire day. And then they took the payment. I preferred to pay cash, so I left and came back. I went to my bank, got the cash out the bank, brought it back to them. They handed me all of my pre-op stuff. Okay, so now it's the day of my surgery, October 31st, 2019. Okay, so my surgery time was for 10:30 in the morning. I woke up at like 7 a.m. freaking out. It was just like crazy. It was like a feeling that I just really honestly cannot describe. I was anxious, I was nervous, I was happy, I was excited, I was scared. I was really terrified, but I couldn't tell my mom that because she would have wanted me to back out of the surgery. So, actually the night before, they had given me this like antibacterial soap, like it's like a medicated soap and you have to scrub your whole body down with it. And afterwards, it kind of gives your body this weird film. Like it feels really weird because you can't put lotions on. You can't do anything after you wash with this soap. So because I slept in a hotel bed, I woke up the next morning and I washed with the soap again just to, you know, be be very, like, clean. I guess it kind of sterilizes your body in a sense. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so I woke up and I put on a nightgown. And I put on my, like, house slippers. I put on, like, just easy clothes that I could slip on and slip off before and after surgery. So at about 8 a.m., 9 a.m., we head to the facility. I have everything packed up that I need for my recovery house. I was checking out of my hotel, and I was going to end up checking into my recovery house after surgery. So my mom drives me to the facility, and we get to the facility, and I am freaking out, but I'm freaking out inside. So my mom's like, you know, they're taking too long to call you back once again. The surgery facility is, like, full of different patients going in and out for different procedures. Like, as I'm pulling in, I see girls getting rolled out in a wheelchair coming from their BBL surgery. It was crazy. It was a lot. So they finally call me back. When they call me back, they, you know, ask me to undress. They asked me to undress, and I had to go. This is when it was time to do my drug test and all of that stuff. I hadn't had anything to drink since like 11 p.m. the day before, because you're not allowed to drink or eat before you do anesthesia. And I hadn't had anything to drink, not even a sip of water, like literally nothing. So it was really hard for me to produce urine for them to do my drug test, so that took a minute. And then after I did that, they had me sitting in this waiting room by myself. They told my mom she could not come back, and this is when it was time for me to finally meet my doctor. So, meeting my doctor was like really, 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 really amazing, because I'd been in Miami for a week and I still hadn't met him. The day of my surgery is the first time we're meeting. You're about to put me under anesthesia. I don't know what you're about to do to me, but for some odd reason, I trusted this man with my life, literally. So he comes in the room. He has the anesthesiologist put an IV in me, because they have to kind of put fluids in your body before they actually do surgery, since you're not allowed to drink or eat. And he comes in the room and he's moving super fast. He's like, okay, stand up. Let me see, you know, your body. He marks my body in every place that needs to be marked. And then he asked me, do I have any questions? And it's crazy because I had a list of questions to ask. But for some reason, I just felt super comfortable with him. I only asked like 2 questions. And he asked the shape of my butt. Like, he asked, like, what shape did I want? And I was very, 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 very firm on saying that I did not want they have shelf, it's called shelf and slope. I did not want a shelf booty. I did not want a booty that sat up super high. I wanted something that was more relaxed and natural, that kind of sat a little lower, and that would fit my body frame a lot better. I showed him pictures of girls on Instagram who I saw, clients that he did, clients that he didn't do, and he was like, I got you, I promise, I got you. And the thing that stuck out the most with my doctor is, before taking me into the operating room, he asked if I would like to pray with him. And that was like the biggest thing for me. We said a really long prayer, hugged, and they rolled me into the operating room. So, when they rolled me into the operating room, this is all I can remember, honestly. They rolled me into the operating room, and they put me on this bed, and they're playing, I just remember them playing like, kind of like classical music or jazz or something of that sort. And I told my doctor, I'm like, you need to put on some Lil Baby. And he did it. He put the Lil Baby on. And the anesthesiologist put the IV in me, and they sent me to sleep. Okay, so here I am. Now I'm waking up from surgery. And all I remember, it was very, 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 very cold. Like, I was shivering. They had me in like a hospital bed type thing. They had a heater and like 4 blankets on me. And I just woke up and I'm just like, I'm so cold. All I remember is cursing those nurses out so bad. Like, why would y'all ever have me this cold? Get me out of here. I'm ready to go. I know it's hot outside. Take me where it's hot. Like, I was so delirious because I was waking up from anesthesia. And obviously, I woke up a new woman. So, that was like the most annoying part of waking up from surgery, because I was so cold. And if you know me, you know I hate being cold. So, They were saying that, like, I'm asking them, like, okay, where's my recovery house? Where's my mom? Call them, get them here now. They're like, oh, your mom's not answering the phone. Your recovery house, they're on the way. So I got really, really nervous. Like, I was getting honestly pissed off. And so in the midst of all of that, my mom ends up calling back. She's like, I'm 10 minutes away. I'll be there in a second. Just do whatever she wants y'all to do until I get there. And my recovery house ended up pulling up at the same time as my mom. So now it's time to roll me in a wheelchair downstairs, just like the other girls that I saw. After surgery, they had me on like compression socks, and they had my faja on, and I think that they had my dress on. I was really, really, really delirious, so I don't really remember. I think they had like my little gown, my nightgown on. So my recovery house is here, and now it's time for me to get up out of this wheelchair and lay, like, the recovery house comes in like a, when they pick you up, they come in like a van. They came in like a white van, and they have all of the seats laid down in the back of the van, and it's like pillows and cushions and stuff to make you super comfortable. They have juices and drinks and waters and stuff kind of like laid out, so, you know, just in case someone wants to drink after surgery. And it's time for me, at this point, it's time for me to get out of the wheelchair and position my body into this van. That was honestly the hardest part about leaving this facility. Like, it was so uncomfortable. It was like crazy. It was like I had to use my elbows and my knees to crawl into the van. And as soon as they got me in the van and I was laid down, literally as soon as I laid down, they gave me a Percocet, and I guess that was to kind of relax me and to kind of help me chill until we were on the way, you know, until we got into the actual recovery house. So we're in the car, and I just kind of dozed off. I was kind of like high from the anesthesia and the Percocet, and it was two other ladies from the recovery house that was in the car, and they were talking, and they were keeping me calm, and they were just telling me what to expect when I got to the recovery house. And I ended up dozing off because the facility was probably about 25 minutes away from the recovery house. So during that drive, I was just like in a whole bunch of pain. The pain was just so bad. Like, it was just like, I don't even know how to explain the pain. Like, it was just bad. And now we're at the recovery house. My mom followed the van to the recovery house, so she's there. And the ladies that work at the recovery house, now it's time for them to get me out of the van. So they kept telling me, like, okay, we're going to open the door. We need you to push up with your knees and your elbows. And for some reason, I could not do it. It's like my body did not. My brain was telling my knees to do something else. Like, I could not push up. And when I finally did it, they got me up, and they wanted me to walk straight into the house. I could not do that. As soon as I stood up, I passed out. I don't know how long I was passed out for. It couldn't have been that long, probably about 5 minutes, maybe less. I passed out, and I just remember them waking me up with an alcohol pad under my nose, because I think the alcohol pads keep you from freaking out or passing out or whatever. I don't know. So they just kept telling me to sniff the alcohol pad, sniff the alcohol pad. It's going to help, it's going to help. And it woke me right back up instantly. So now they're walking me to my room, my room for the next 7 days. And they put me in the bed. And this is kind of TMI, but I have to kind of explain this part. I was on my cycle, so they had to put a diaper on me, which was the weirdest shit ever. Like, as an adult, who wants to wear a diaper? But I had my faja on, and they have the diaper over the faja. They put me in the bed, and I'm crying. I just started crying out of nowhere. I don't know why, I just did. And my mom was like super, super worried. Everything was pretty much a blur the first day after surgery, but I do remember crying a whole lot. And my mom was like, I don't want to leave you here. You know, I don't feel comfortable leaving you here. And I was just like, no, I'm okay. I'm just in a lot of pain. So I ended up taking a Tylenol PM. It knocked me out. So now I'm going to kind of explain like my experience in the recovery house. First things first, the recovery house that I went to is called Morgz. I'm going to give you guys the Instagram name to it, because I feel like they were amazing. Like, this was literally the best women I've ever met in my life. These ladies were amazing. Their Instagram is Morgz with an underscore, and I'll list it, you know, above or something. Um, they were like amazing. Like, so the owner of I Mermaids, her name is India, and the nurse that works in the house that's there 24/7, her name is Miss K. When I tell you, these ladies saved my life on several different occasions for the 7 days or 6 or 7 days that I was there. So I didn't want to eat food the first day. I didn't want to eat anything. They just kept giving me applesauce and water. I really didn't even want that. I just wanted to sleep, but I had to put something on my stomach because I hadn't ate in 24 hours. So they were giving me they gave me like applesauce. I couldn't really eat any hard foods, and they gave me this soup that was so amazing. It was called lentil soup. It's like a bean soup or something. It was really good. I wanted that the entire time I was there, but they changed up the meals every day. So day two of in the recovery house. They're trying to get me to get out of the bed, and again, my knees and my elbows did not want to push up because you're laying on your stomach the entire time. You could not lay on your backside if you're getting a BBL. Prepare yourself. You cannot lay on your backside at all. So I'm laying on my stomach with my chin to my hands, and it was just like super uncomfortable. And my shoulders, I just remember my shoulders and my neck and my arms hurting really bad. So I wasn't able to push up. It took about 3 of them to get me out of the bed. And when they finally got me out of the bed, I had to pee. I couldn't go to the bathroom by myself. It was too painful. I couldn't bend down. I couldn't do any of that. So I just told them, I'm just going to go in this bucket. They give you like a female urinal thing to use, and that's what I did. And they assisted me with that, and they wiped me off with wipes and put another diaper on me. That's a little graphic for most people, but I just, again, have to give you guys the raw and uncut tea. So, they fed me really, really good the entire time I was there. And one thing I do want to talk about is the massages. So, day 2, I had to do a post-op appointment with my doctors. And that was very quick. I didn't do my massages at my facility. I actually chose the option to do my massages at the recovery house. So, when it's time to do the massage at my recovery house, the owner, India, instructed me to, take pain medicine before, like maybe 30 minutes before the masseuse gets there. So, because the massages are supposed to be excruciating pain, they say the massages, everyone that I know that has surgery says that massages are the absolute worst. To me, it was the best thing that happened to me within those 7 days. So, the massage lady was like an older Hispanic lady. She was very, very, very gentle. And my mom actually came to the house the second day to look over me while I got my massages and to take some pictures of me so she could see the progress from my body. And the lady was like, the massages hurt, don't get me wrong. They're not painful. They're very painful. But I guess my massage lady at my recovery house was so gentle and so like she knew what she was doing to the point where it didn't hurt me as bad as it hurts most people, I guess. But the massages are like the most important part about recovery. You have to get your massages because you do not want to have fluid buildup. The fluid buildup is like, it makes your stomach hard. You see different rolls in your stomach. It's not a good thing at all, which is why they call it, I guess, the lymphatic drainage massage. So, again, my massage lady did her thing. She did an amazing job. I got those same massages every day for the next 6 days that I was there. Showering, bathing and showering. That was like a really big challenge for me. Like, I'm not going to lie, the first 2 days, I did not want to get in the shower. It hurt so bad to get up. But by the 3rd day, I was able to like it took me a while, but I was able to get up out of the bed on my own. And when I finally was able to get up, I took a shower. But they actually helped bathe me. Which was really nice of them because, again, they don't have to do that. They bathed me and they walked me around the house because you have to keep your compression socks on for 6 days because you want the blood to flow. You don't want to get blood clots. So they walked me around the house for those 6 days. They, I don't know, they did so much stuff to comfort me in this time of pain. And the pain level was literally so crazy those first 6 days. I cried every single day. And I'm not a crybaby. I cried every single day for those first days, those first couple days. No, the first 6 days. And they were so comforting. And not to mention, I had other girls in the recovery house with me. We had all got the same procedures done, and all of us were going through the pain together. And it kind of formed like a weird sisterhood. I don't know how to explain it, but those ladies will forever be a part of my heart. Like, seriously. We all were in pain together, and we dealt with it together, and we got through it together. So that was like the best part about the recovery house. After the I left on the 7th day. So my recovery house wasn't that expensive. It was like $175, I think, a day. So, I mean, I ended up paying like a lot of money for my recovery house, but it was worth it. They fed me, they bathed me, they took me to all of my appointments, my post-op appointments, and again, they were just super amazing. Oh, and they also took me to the airport when it was time for me to go home. So, I get home. Traveling was the worst part. That was like the worst part of, like, after the recovery house. That was the worst part. So I thought. So they, they roll you in a wheelchair around the airport. You look crazy. It just was like a very bad experience for me. I flew first class. Most people won't tell you, but you should book a first class flight going home if you're flying, because those seats are wider. The aisles are a little bit better. It's just one person sitting next to you instead of two. They feed you better in first class. They take care of you. First class was just like the better option. I couldn't imagine flying coach in the amount of pain that I was in. I actually had to have they give you a booty pillow, and I had to sit on my booty pillow, and it was so painful. My butt hurt so bad on that plane. And then it was to the point where my legs were going numb. It was just a lot. The plane part was a lot. Getting off of the plane was a lot too. But luckily, Atlanta's airport has helpful people that roll you around the airport and take care of you until you get to your car. So, my aunt actually picks me up from the airport. When she picked me up from the airport, I was not trying to sit in the back seat on my butt. I sat actually on my knees. I kneeled on my knees all the way until I got home. When I finally got home, I was just in so much pain, I just wanted to go to sleep. It was just like, okay, this is too much. I just went to sleep. Woke up the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and did the same thing. I stayed in the house after my surgery, after I got back from Miami, for about 3.5 weeks. And that was like the hardest thing for me, because everyone knows I'm not a homebody. I'm always moving around. I'm always outside. So it took a toll on me. But I literally sat in the house and just kind of got my life together while I was there. And I actually had an in-house massage girl come, like the massage lady that does all of my regular massages. She actually does the drainage massages as well. She was pretty pricey too. She charged me about $110. And after $110 per massage, and after surgery, you're supposed to get about 25 to 30 massages. So it just got really, really pricey. She does a great job as well. I still get my massages. I haven't got them in about 2 weeks, but I still get my massages. Maybe like once every week, instead of, at first I was getting 3 a week. And, of course it gets expensive, but as the weeks progress, you start feeling better. The massages, when you drain, you feel way better than you did before you laid on the table. Where did I buy my faja? This is a very important question. Glad this person asked that. My faja, my stage 1 faja, which is like a low compression faja, that came from my facility where I got my actual surgery done. They had an actual aftercare package that I had to buy. My stage 2 faja, which is the one that I'm in now and the most comfortable one, is from Pretty Girl Curves. It's a store in Miami. I'll leave their @ name above or below or whatever. I'll leave their @ name below, and you guys can go check out their page. Next question. On a scale from 1 to 10, how was the pain, and how long was your downtime after? Scale 1 to 10, it was a 10, an absolute 10, really a 20. It hurt bad. I was down, didn't leave the house for about 4 weeks. And when I did leave the house within those 4 weeks, it was in and out. I wasn't really trying to be outside for a long period of time. This is a great question. Did it affect me mentally as well? Not saying you're insecure or anything. That's the question. Yes, surgery kind of, it played tricks on me at first. Like, before, I got it, I was like, okay, I'm cool with being this natural girl or whatever, but I also hate my body. And then I would see girls that would have surgery done, and I'd be like, okay, no, that bitch looks bomb. I'm going to get some surgery. So I was up and down for a really long time, like literally for like 3 years. Like, okay, I'm going to do it. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Okay, I'm going to do it. No, never mind. I'm not going to do it. I changed my mind so much. And when I finally did it, I felt great. My entire attitude changed. My confidence, of course, went through the roof. I've always thought I was that bitch, but I'm really that bitch now. Yeah, like, it definitely affected me mentally. And another thing that, like, it's funny, like, this doesn't really have anything to do with the question, but it's so funny to see, like, how all the guys that weren't paying no attention to me before are on my bumper. So it definitely affected me mentally. It's funny. Someone said, was recovery hard? Recovery was definitely the hardest part. I thought the pre-op and all of that would be the hardest part. Recovery was the hardest part of all of it. Someone said, how long did I wait to have sex, and what are the major challenges I faced? I did not have sex after surgery for about 5 weeks. I was too scared to let anybody touch me, and I didn't want it to be rough. I didn't want it to be handled. Like, I just didn't really want to be touched at all. Like, I was good. Like, I didn't want to be dealt with on that level or intimate with anyone at all. Like, didn't even have sex on my birthday. Like, that's how much I did not want to be touched. And the major challenges that I faced, like I said, one of the main ones, it was a mind thing. It was trying to overcome the feeling of feeling defeated. I felt so defeated while I was going through recovery. I, like, at the recovery house, I was mainly crying, not because I was in pain, which I was, but I was mainly crying because I felt so defeated. I felt like I could not do anything for myself. I felt like I had to call someone to do something as simple as to help me get out the bed and use the restroom. Like, I had to get someone to help me shower. Like, that type of stuff. Being a super independent person and having to go from being super independent to depending on someone really bothered me. I really felt defeated, and that was, like, the most challenging part about all of this. Let's see, what's the next question? Someone said, did I have to stop drinking or smoking? I definitely did. I addressed that earlier in the video. I definitely stopped drinking and smoking. Well, I didn't smoke. I don't smoke weed anyways, but no hookah, no alcohol, period. Someone said, how long is the recovery and how do I feel? As of now, I feel great. I feel like this is a repetitive question, but there's different phases and levels in the recovery. 6 weeks is like when you can go back to work. They say you can go back to work in 3 weeks, but I suggest a person, if you sit on your butt, if you do a desk job or anything of that sort, or anything that requires a lot of moving, I say 6 to 8 weeks, period. But they say the full recovery process can be anywhere from 6 months to a year. And, like, your skin has to still reattach itself back to the muscles, so that takes time. Like, I'm still super sore right now, and we're in January, so, yeah. Someone said, did I get the surgery stateside or out the country? Definitely went in the States, Miami to be exact. Someone said, are you satisfied? I'm beyond satisfied. I think I answered that question already, but I'm definitely satisfied. My doctor did his thing. Good question. Someone said, were you completely asleep during your surgery? Yes, I was. There's a thing called general anesthesia and there's a thing called local anesthesia. I got general anesthesia, and that's when they put you completely to sleep. They numb you don't feel nothing. You're asleep. And that's just that. Local anesthesia is when they, I think, numb the particular areas that they're lipoing or injecting the fat back into. And you're awake and you feel everything. They sedate you, but you still feel a lot of the pain. Let's see. And that actually concludes all of our questions. And those were all really good questions. And I hope I answered them to the best of my ability. And I hope that, it gave you guys more insight. Okay, guys. So that concludes my surgery video. I hope that I was able to answer a lot of your questions that you guys have had and maybe didn't get a chance to ask your friends or family members or doctors or anyone that you know that might have had surgery. I hope that I covered a lot of the areas that the internet does not cover. I hope that I was as descriptive as possible. And now it's actually time for me to reveal my doctor.